When I was in high school, around the ages of 13 all the way up to 18, I had a huge problem that limited my potential and limited my growth as a young man. And it's something that I wish I knew about at that age. So this video is for all the guys who are in the younger years, who are maybe still in high school, still finding your way. And I'm just gonna give you some advice from someone who is 22 years old and who's gone through quite a lot of self-development in the past couple of years. So yeah, between 13 and 18, I couldn't approach girls. I started businesses and gave up on them. I had big dreams and desires that I never acted on. I started the work and gave up because I didn't think I was good enough. And this was all because of a core component of my life that I've managed to strip away in the past couple of years. And you might be experiencing this as well. And that is limiting beliefs. Beliefs that you have about yourself that are limiting you as a person, limiting your decision making and limiting what you think you're capable of doing. Big one for me, and it's probably the same for you, was a limiting self-belief about the way I looked and my confidence. My confidence was super low when I was in high school. Really struggled to speak to new people, really struggled to speak to girls, and really struggled to have conversations and social interactions. And this is something I've become a lot better at. But it was my own limiting beliefs about myself that was causing me to not be capable of going into these social situations. Literally, like, there was a guy at my old school who was very confident and outgoing, and we weren't friends or anything like that. And I remember he like kind of took the piss out of me a little bit. He not bullied me, but he would take the piss out of me at school, right? And he was kind of a popular kid, and at the time I kind of wanted to be friends with this person, so I would like speak to them in this really awkward way, but I was just making things worse for myself. And there were so many times in high school when I wouldn't go and approach people. Like, one of my best friends is kind of like was friends with all of us unpopular guys, but he was also in the popular group, so he would often go over to their side, and like I would never go over and speak to the people that he would speak to because they were the popular people and I was unpopular. And like, it's just your own limiting kind of beliefs about yourself that actually stop you from going and doing stuff like that. Like, I didn't think like exactly like I said to myself, I'm an unpopular kid, like I'm in the unpopular group, they're the popular kids. That was the belief that I had. So I never went and spoke to those people because I was just convinced I was the unpopular kid, so I didn't go speak to them. But the reality of the situation is, looking back at it, is that I was the unpopular kid. But if I had gone and spoke to them and just didn't take that limiting belief as fact and just sort of said, whatever, fuck it, I don't care if I'm the popular kid or not, went and just spoke to them and like did that a few times, I would probably have ended up like hitting it off with one of them and becoming friends with one of them or something, and then probably wouldn't have been seen as the unpopular kid. But it was that own self-limiting belief that I had, that I was the unpopular kid, that stopped me from ever trying to not be anything other than the unpopular kid. So don't ever let your limiting beliefs or the way that you see yourself dictate your actions or stop you from going and trying to change that. Don't ever think that you're not capable of doing something just because you're not, right? If you currently can't do something like sport and something to do with fitness, or you can't, like, you don't have a certain skill, or you can't make a YouTube channel and you kind of want to make a YouTube channel but you can't do it, and this kind of thing. Like, if I couldn't do something, I would say I can't do it and not even try, because I'm like, oh, I can't do that, I'm not going to try do it, right? Like this, it was the exact same with the gym. I never went to the gym because I was skinny, and I thought, well, I can't lift weights, I'm skinny, I'm not going to go to the gym. It's like, yeah, you've not been to the gym, of course you're skinny, like you've got to start off somewhere. And this is just something I wish I knew. I never got my head around it until later on in life, that to actually like do something, you have to start somewhere. Like, you have to start off not having done it. Like, this is the fucking definition of starting, right? Don't ever not do something that you want to do because you don't know how to do it. You're gonna learn how to do it, right? The same with YouTube, right? If you want to start a YouTube channel and you want to do that thing, but you don't like know how to do it because you've never recorded a video, don't let that stop you from starting a YouTube channel. You have to record your first video at some point. You have to record your second or your third and your 10th and your 100th. And then before you know it, you're just a YouTuber, right? Like, don't ever let it stop you. And if you're skinny right now and you've not been to the gym, you've never trained before, you don't know how to train, don't let that stop you from training and going to the gym and doing your first session. You always have to do a first of everything. You always have to go and speak to a girl for the first time who you've never spoken to before. This is something I used to do all the time when I was in high school, when I was your age. I used to not do things because I hadn't had the experience doing it. I always wanted to be very comfortable and very safe. I wanted to know how it was going to play out. I wanted to be comfortable with that. I wanted to have done it before I do it. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, you have to take a leap of faith, and you have to always think, there needs to be a first time that I do this thing. Always keep that in mind, and don't ever let your brain say that you shouldn't do something because you haven't done it before. That's bullshit, right? You need to do the thing the first time, and the second time it'll still be just as bad, and the third time it'll be a little bit better. Just before you know it, you just practice, and you will become capable of doing that thing. Like, you are the marble and you're also the sculptor. Like, that's a great quote that I like, right? You're a block of marble right now, and you need to sculpt yourself out, and you can literally be anything you want. But in order to sculpt yourself out, it's gonna be painful, right? You're gonna have to cut bits of yourself off. You're gonna have to tear down your limiting beliefs, and it's gonna be hard to do, right? Going to the gym for the first time is difficult. You're gonna be very sore the next day. It's gonna be a huge learning curve for you. First time you set up a YouTube channel is gonna be very difficult. First video is gonna be hard to record. First time that you go and speak to the popular kids is gonna be difficult because you're gonna be very nervous and you don't know how they're gonna react, and they might just bully you, to be honest, you know what I mean? But like, all that shit's valuable for you. You're gonna learn from that, right? First time you're in a social situation having a few drinks, or the first time you have a drink and you're out like on a night out, that's gonna be awkward, right? So you're always gonna have to overcome stuff like this. And just when I was like, 13 to 18 in high school, I just had this arching sort of belief that I couldn't do things, that I was just incapable, and I needed to be comfortable all the time. And something that I've learned now later on in life that I wish I could have applied to myself and just taken this and put it into that young guy's brain that I was, of just like the limiting beliefs. That was the biggest thing that stopped me from making progress in the early days. Go and do uncomfortable things. Try and chase uncomfortable moments. Because when I started doing this more towards 18, 19, that's when I really started to flourish and come into my own skin and become a bit more social and extroverted. And that's when I was able to do YouTube and stuff. Recording 250 videos now on this channel. If you gone back in time and saw me when I was 16, 15 years old, you would not have believed I would be capable of going to the gym and building muscle and being on self-improvement and starting a YouTube channel and all this stuff, right? You just would not have believed it was even possible. So yeah, please just, whatever you take from this video, I hope it's just a little bit motivational for you, inspiring. I could have probably done with a video like this when, I was 16, 15. So yeah, hopefully it's helped you in some way. Thank you so much for watching, mate. Remember, keep improving yourself every day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.